Sleep. We all regulate our sleep in some ways to adjust to work, raise kids, deal with chronic illnesses, study for exams, and so on. Leaving aside the biological limits of sleep, we decide when to sleep, how much to sleep, and when not to fall asleep. Doctors prescribe that we sleep for at least 7 to 8 hours. Work cultures have been the biggest regulator of sleep in modern history. Whether it is lying flat, an anti work resistance movement in China, or demand for a shorter work week, the issue of sleep, leisure, and work are interconnected. Yet, our bosses want more work. Modern period work culture, structured around the clock, which can be loosely termed the capitalist production system, has significantly transformed not only the way humans work but also how they sleep. Human living before the industrial period and the introduction of electric bulbs worked more during the daytime and less during the night time. And if they did work in the dark, as was the case for agrarian work, it was not usually for sustained 9 or 10 hours. People's sleeping habits changed with industrialization since the 19th century. Before industrial work ethics, Western people took biphasic sleep. That is, people slept in two halves with a break around midnight. But with the growth of artificial lighting, industrial work culture, and socialization at night, people shifted to a single segment sleep, one consolidated long sleep. India probably never underwent this clear cut single phasic sleep shift as people continued to sleep differently in the summer and the winter and in villages and in big cities. As factory work got entrenched in India since the late 19th century and the professionalism of clock based work culture introduced into our lives of Indian people, siestas came under attack and people underwent sleep deprivation. A factory worker in the late 19th century, working for 10 to 13 hours, slept not more than 7 hours a day. But women workers slept even less as they woke up early to burn wood for their earthen stoves, collect water from common taps, cook food for meals, and prepare to go to work. It is not surprising that when Bombay workers rebelled against their Indian employers and the British colonial state in the 1880s, their first demand was to work from dawn to dusk. Working in the daylight meant some leisure time in the evenings. They learnt clock reading to ensure overseers and jobbers did not make them work extra hours. Clocks, a tool used by employers to create a disciplined industrial workforce were also used by those who worked to ensure they had a life beyond work. Later, in the 20th century, these workers led the protests for an 8-hour workday on the streets of Bombay. We may regulate our sleep, but we are not sovereigns of our sleep. Sleep inequality is a big concern that may derail our progress. Women generally sleep less than males because of child and family care in addition to their work culture. The dictum, a nation which sleeps less also produces less, can be supplemented with a nation which sleeps less also produces more sick bodies. Thank you for listening.